Are we living in a simulation? In this video, we will explore a list of the main proponents for this theory and their credentials. A brief overview of the thinking processes that led them to believe we could be living in a simulation. A more detailed consideration of the scientific facts and observations that led them to this conclusion. A summary of characteristics of the material universe presented by these experts. Thoughts on a superintelligence. The seeming contradiction between the incredible order in the material universe compared to chaos when it comes to the moral and ethical behavior of the human race. And finally, the answer to the main question from two different perspectives. Be sure to watch this video to the end, as the conclusions may surprise you. The purpose of this presentation is to consider the answers to this interesting and thought-provoking question, as given by some of the best minds of our time from across a large spectrum of fields of endeavor. Its main purpose is to present current thinking and to pose a few related questions. The reader must use logic and reason to arrive at individual conclusions. Here are some of the most respected individuals in their areas of expertise who have expressed their belief that we could be living in a simulation. Nick Bostrom, philosopher, University of Oxford, is perhaps the most influential modern figure who seriously considered the simulation hypothesis. David Chalmers, philosopher, New York University, has explored the idea philosophically, describing a potential programmer in the next universe up. S. James Gates Jr., theoretical physicist, University of Maryland, discovered error-correcting codes similar to binary error-correcting codes that computers use for robust digital communication, embedded in the fundamental equations of supersymmetry. He has noted this suggests the universe's laws may contain computer code-like structures. Elon Musk, engineer, entrepreneur, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX AI, has repeatedly stated the odds of us not being in a simulation are roughly 1 in a billion, or a 99.999% chance that we are. Claude Elwood Shannon, American mathematician, electrical engineer, and cryptographer, 1916 to 2001, widely regarded as the father of information theory, provided the underlying framework for Melvin Vopson's research. Max Tegmark, cosmologist, MIT, has discussed mathematical structures of reality and simulation ideas in the context of his work on the mathematical universe hypothesis. Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist, has estimated the simulation likelihood at better than 50-50 odds, saying he can't find a strong argument against it. Rizwan Virk, MIT computer scientist, video game entrepreneur, and author of The Simulation Hypothesis, argues that AI and quantum physics point toward us living in a video game-like reality. Melvin Vopson, physicist, University of Portsmouth, proposes a second law of infodynamics as potential evidence for a simulated universe, linking information physics to the hypothesis. To expand on several of the foregoing, these proponents embrace the idea of us living in a simulation as a serious possibility due to one or more of the following. The universe's fine-tuning mathematical structure refers to the observation that many fundamental physical constants, parameters, and initial conditions of the universe are set to extraordinarily precise values. Even tiny deviations, often by fractions of a percent or less, would result in a universe where stars, galaxies, atoms, chemistry, and life as we know it could not exist. Paraphrasing Max Tegmark, the universe is not just described by mathematics, It appears to embody or be mathematical at its core. Code-like features in physics refer to mathematical structures, patterns, or principles in the fundamental laws of nature that strikingly resemble elements of computer science, digital information processing, or programming. Error-correcting codes and supersymmetry equations are the hallmarks of engineered digital systems. Their presence in the deepest mathematical descriptions of nature strongly suggest the universe may have a computational or informational foundation. Information theoretic laws show that the universe behaves like an optimized computational system, one that efficiently manages information, minimizing storage processing needs. In other words, organization is not purely random, as in classical Darwinism, but appears to be guided toward more optimized states. In quantum mechanics, entangled particles remain correlated instantaneously regardless of distance and are not constrained by the speed of light. Bell's theorem confirmed experimentally. Also in quantum mechanics, electrons behave like waves, interference pattern, when unobserved, but like particles, two bands, when observed. Infodynamics suggests a new governing principle in nature that could hint at a computational underlying reality operating at a scale from digital data to biology to atomic physics and cosmology, driving systems toward efficiency. Elon Musk sees the universe as consistent with advanced engineering, specifically as the product of sophisticated computational or programmed design. Musk views the universe's mathematical precision, physical laws, and fine-tuning through an engineering lens. Laws of physics act like unbreakable code. In short, Musk sees evidence of engineering in the universe, not crude tinkering, but the elegant computational craftsmanship of something built by beings far ahead of us. There is also the extraordinarily low probability, 1 in 10 to the 120th power, of conditions allowing stars, atoms, chemistry, and life to exist. This is related to the cosmological constant, which is so finely tuned that the slightest variation in either direction would make the existence of matter itself to be impossible. A probability of 1 in 10 to the 120th power is like winning the lottery every single day for billions of times in a row. The observed value, which allows galaxies, stars, and life to exist, is tuned to an almost incomprehensible precision compared to what quantum field theory predicts. A careful examination of the foregoing shows a consistent pattern of thinking, often the result of extensive research. These individuals observed the following characteristics of the material universe: mathematical precision, integrated information and intelligence, advanced programming, sophisticated engineering, statistical probability of governance. These observed characteristics are found at the lowest subatomic level all the way to the galactic. The primary conclusion based on the independent research and thinking of these proponents is that some kind of superintelligence is behind the scene that is running everything. Most who follow this line of reasoning conclude that by necessity, this superintelligent power is outside of the universe as we observe it. None of these individuals present their conclusions within a religious framework such as intelligent design. Nevertheless, the obvious question would be, if we accept their reasoning, then who is the superintelligence behind it all? In any case, this superintelligence outside the material realm would therefore be responsible for creating it. All this reasoning by the foregoing individuals is presented from a purely scientific standpoint and largely ignores the moral and ethical questions that such a theory raises. Is it reasonable or logical to assume that a superintelligent being or beings capable of creating such incredible precision at the material level would fail to apply the same level of care when it comes to moral and ethical governance for the intelligent beings living therein? But a problem presents itself here because observation shows that humans are far from precise and harmonious when it comes to their moral and ethical behavior. There must be a reason for such chaos within human civilization, while everything else in the universe is highly regulated by fixed laws and principles. If there is a superintelligence that is responsible for the universe as we perceive it, it stands to reason that the entity that is running it must have a motive for creating it in the first place, and must also have a motive for allowing the human race to be so chaotic in comparison to the rest of the universe. The experts cited at the beginning of this presentation do not attempt to explain the extreme dichotomy between the moral and ethical when compared to the purely scientific and statistical. Many of these great minds believe in a superintelligence who is responsible for what they believe is a simulation. Their reasons for coming to this conclusion are compelling. However, is their conclusion the only reasonable and logical one based on the facts? We answer no. What other areas of disagreement do we have? Number 1. Is there a superintelligence responsible for this universe and the rules that govern it? We answer yes. Number 2. Are we living in a simulation? We answer no. Then what other possible conclusion is there based on the facts? Is it not reasonable and logical to call the superintelligence God and to call this universe his creation? All the detailed research and conclusions arrived at in the foregoing all point in that direction. But as soon as the word God is used, all the scientific reasoning is turned against itself and is used instead to deny the very logic used to support their concept of superintelligence. That leaves us with the unanswered question as to why there is this extreme dichotomy between the moral and ethical conflicts of the human race when compared to the incredible harmony displayed in the material universe. There is an answer to this question, and if the unbiased mind is willing to search for it, that answer is found in the Bible. But sincere skeptics will balk at the word Bible just as they balk at the word God. It is important to state that their skepticism is well-founded, but the Bible is not at fault. It is the man-made creeds of the Dark Ages that are to blame, for they have twisted and distorted the concepts found in the Bible. And these misconceptions still form an integral part of what is called Christianity. If the foregoing experts in their field often required many long years of research to come to their conclusions, we should not expect to find the answers in the Bible without similar unbiased research. For those who are sincerely interested in a non-sectarian approach to this subject, the Christian classic, The Divine Plan of the Ages, is the starting point we heartily recommend. The link is in the description.